and welcome to Nonprofit Executive Spotlight, where we feature nonprofit management professionals seeking their next opportunity. Hi, I'm your host, Cecilia Supp. I'm the principal and founder of Road Tulips Consulting, and I am pleased to welcome this session's guest, Mike Lang, who is seeking his first Chief Staff Executive position. Welcome, Mike. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, thanks, Cecilia, for having me on your show. I've enjoyed working in the association arena for quite some time. I have over 20 years experience working with different trade associations, and I really appreciate the opportunity to get to know our members and to build up those networking relationships. And I feel incumbent upon myself to demonstrate to them all the association has to offer, all the features and benefits, and make sure that they're aware of all the different training and resources and tools that we have to offer. So that made me pretty much immersed with the different facets of my most recent association, and really would be interested in expanding and sharing that with a new association out there.
Well, it sounds like you put a lot of effort into creating a valuable and dynamic member experience. So you have a lot of background in trade associations. And I know one of the big areas they work on is accreditation. And that's something that you've done a lot of work on. So can you tell us a little bit about your experience in that area?
Sure. That I worked with chemical facilities, and we're charged with making sure that they go through our accreditation program. And I want to make it a point that when you join our association and you go through our accreditation program, that you will pass. If you don't pass, it's usually a lack of commitment among the senior management. So I make sure that my staff and I provide every single resource that's possible, whether it's print, electronic, whether it's IT related web development, but also to make sure that we are available to our members all the time, and had a terrific staff, and we really built a nice team to help out our members. And those areas of accreditation were with safety, security, sustainability, and environmental issues as well.
Well, and it sounds like you do a lot of education. So you've mentioned to me that you did a lot of public speaking on that topic of accreditation, but you're also self-motivated. Didn't you get a separate certification so that you would know more about how to serve your members?
Absolutely. I thought it was very important that if I'm speaking about key safety areas, then I should probably know a little bit more about what I was speaking about. So I took it upon myself to become a certified safety manager to cover all different areas of safety, whether it's driving a forklift, whether it is dealing with heat stress, bloodborne pathogens, and really go into some specific areas to make sure that getting in front of so many people, so many different types of skill sets, that I was able to hopefully relate to them and vice versa.
Well, with the trade association area, it's usually a major industry. So we might be talking about chemicals or auto manufacturers or some other major industry like that, where you would need to know a lot about safety. But how does sustainability play into your experience working with trade associations?
When I was working with a major trade association recently, sustainability was something that they practiced, but they didn't really brag about all the wonderful achievements that they've done
Hmm.
because they just called it good business practices. Well, I thought it was time really to formulate what that was and put it under the umbrella of sustainability. And I thought it was perhaps better for us to take this proactive stance at a certain time before it would be regulated or before our members' partners would look further and mandate certain things. So therefore, we took it upon ourselves to create a brand new sustainability code as part of our accreditation program. And I'm really proud that that sustainability code was not the typical recycle, reuse, waste minimization, but we also encompassed the best of DEI. Uh, we wanted to make sure that diversity, equity, and inclusion was part of the program. And so we built that, if you will, under our sustainability code. And our members, it was a bit of a wake up call since they never had seen something so organized as that. But they really welcomed that type of structure. And it was really gratifying to see those efforts pay off and see how our members truly wanted to raise the bar.
Well, and it sounds like you do a lot to help them realize what they're successful at.
Absolutely. That the one critical thing I would say about our members is you guys do a lot of wonderful things out there. Brag about it. Tell the world. Um, Demonstrate that because
Well,
they have. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, finish your thought, please.
Well, I was just saying that even down to their employees have been so vested into improving the community as well as themselves that the member companies can do a better job recognizing them and as well as the company's efforts in making the place a better place to work at.
And what I was starting to say is a big part of being a chief staff executive, no matter what that title might be, is being that spokesman for the profession or the industry that you're working with and stewarding the organization for. So it sounds like you have a lot of experience and you're just ready to hit the ground running with the spokesperson role.
I am that. I've had some media training, and I think that was important because you never know when the microphone is going to be in front of your face, so to speak.
Mhm.
And I just worked with such a great group of members and individuals that to be a spokesperson for them really makes me proud of the work that they have done. And I don't necessarily need a pat on the back for me. Good job, Mike. Um, but for our members to recognize them and really extol how they make their workplaces and their employees work better, all in the spirit of continuous improvement, is really gratifying to see. So I love talking about the efforts of our members.
And I think that's a really important part of being the chief staff executive because, in a lot of ways, you are the embodiment of the idea of the organization. So it sounds like you have the experience and skills for that. You also mentioned to me as we were preparing for our conversation that you believe very strongly in mentoring and identifying emerging leaders. So, can you talk a little bit about the work you've done in that area?
Absolutely. Our member companies have such a great talent pool that they have. We want to make sure that they are aware of the different opportunities that are available within the industry as well as our members' companies. So we've had conversations with member companies to help identify those rising stars, if you will, because they are investing in them in many different ways to be really good stewards of their company and of the industry. So we asked them to identify themselves and would they be willing to be involved in an emerging leaders or rising leader type program that our association and myself would develop the curriculum. We would have the speakers present on a variety of different topics. And we made that a period of time of study for those rising leaders of almost a 2-year program. And we formalized it with a graduation of such so that they could be recognized by the member companies as well as the industry. And the rising leaders were just so pleased that they were heavily vested into it. They brought such enthusiasm that it was a joy to work with them. So as an offshoot of that, we developed a mentoring program. We took the C-suite leaders of the industry and asked if they'd be interested in mentoring individuals, possibly from other companies, which was a unique approach. And we want to make sure there was no proprietary information to be shared but really just talking about practices of excellence. And it really was a successful program that we had in place, and really just a joy to watch that type of relationship flourish within our industry.
Oh, that is always a good feeling. So when you think about being the chief staff executive, one of the things they have to do is work across all areas of the organization and do the best they can for as many people as possible. So how would you tie together all of these different areas, accreditation, emerging leaders, mentorship, sustainability, DEI, being that public spokesman? How do you see all of those tie together?
Well, you want to make sure that you run a well-rounded program, and that means that the individuals need to be, for lack of a better word, cross-trained, if you will, but
Mhm.
really to know the ins and outs of the association. It's the idea of really taking that 15-second elevator speech and feel confident that you can back it up in all the different facets of your organization. So whether it's appearing in front of OSHA or another regulatory agency, going on Capitol Hill and talk to your elected officials, accompany your membership team to go about prospecting potential new members. It's really just gratifying to know that pretty much you can answer, if not all the questions, but you can get back to them with either the right industry experts on the phone the next day, or that you can follow up with the bits and pieces of the minutia that perhaps you're not a subject matter expert in. But all in all, it's to develop and present that well-rounded package that really makes me excited to demonstrate in front of our members.
Oh, that sounds great. That's a wonderful approach. Now, you've obviously given a lot of thought to pursuing a chief staff executive job. And having had that job, I can tell you it is really fun and exciting and a little challenging and sometimes a little scary. So, what have you learned from your experience that you think you can apply to being a chief staff executive and being in that leadership role?
Yeah, not every day and every instance is going to be, bright lights and rosy occasions. You will have to deal with some difficult situations. I think it's all about situational awareness as well as situational adaptability. So when you have a situation or a member concern, how you can address that. And I think that starts with not just making sure that you feel comfortable in the different facets of your organization, but to make sure that you have staff also who can provide that assistance. So I feel it's that well-rounded picture that we as leaders really need to demonstrate, and it's confidence building so that when my staff, if they had to deal with a difficult issue or a member concern, I immediately say, well, tell them to give me a call, or better yet, I'll give them a call. I learned along the way that sure, I can do that, but I'm kind of missing the boat because my staff needs to be able to deal with those situations as well. So we don't always have to hand it off to another individual. With that being said, we've had challenges along the way, obviously with COVID and supply chain issues before that has really impacted the association that I was with. But I'm excited to demonstrate to them that there's always opportunities that we can seek out there. So bring those challenges forward. Let us, as the outlet, if you will, or the extension of the members' organization, let us be the problem solvers.
And I think that is a wonderful approach to leadership. That sounds great. So as we start to wind up our conversation for this session, what is the job you would like to have? I'm not going to say your dream job because I think we all know there isn't one out there for all of us. But as you're looking ahead and thinking, what kind of a place would I like to lead? What kind of organization? Do you have one in mind? And I don't mean a specific one, but a type of organization.
I like to think that the trade associations that I've worked with in the past have really been so helpful to me personally as well as professionally. Really has allowed me to enhance and develop my growth as a manager and ultimately as a leader. That I would like to extend that as in a role such as a CEO, executive director of a trade association. And I really look forward to being that hands on leader with the different facets, whether it's the board, the committee, the members, and other interested parties, and ultimately with our staff. Um, and I think that's just a great opportunity and one that I feel that I'm well suited for and anxious to lead that next chapter.
Well, and it is a great goal to have and a great new chapter. So I think that you are bringing a lot to the table. And we've talked about a lot of different areas that you have expertise in. So if people want to talk to you more and find out more about what you can bring to their team, what's the best way to get in touch?
Sure. They can certainly send me an email at mlang109@gmail.com. And I am very active on LinkedIn. So people can look up Michael Lang, CSM, that's safety, the Certified Safety Manager, and PMP, because there's a few of us that share the same name, but not not all of us share that same passion for our next chapter, as we said. So I look forward to that.
That's wonderful. Well, you've been a great guest, and it's
Thank
been
you.
really enjoyed talking with you and hearing your perspectives on the different areas and how they all tie together. So I would like to thank Mike Lang for joining me for this session of Nonprofit Executive Spotlight. I would contact Mike and scoop him up before somebody else does. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
watching.
Cecilia.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back unless everyone gets a job.